Hey guys, one of the blessings I have with this channel is the opportunities I've had to interview scholars. And, I've interviewed Robert P. George, Dr. Scott Hahn, Dr. Alan Keyes, and I really admire these guys because I'm passionate about the truth. I've always said, have the philosophy that it doesn't matter who's right, it matters what's right. Don't just go, well, this guy said this, so I got to believe it. No, find out the truth, search out the truth. And that led me to believe there was a God, and that led me to believe that Jesus Christ is the true God. And it led me to believe that Catholic Christianity is the true religion that God wants us to serve him in. And in politics, it's led me to be a conservative Republican. Now, these three men I mentioned, I have such respect for them because their desire for the truth led them to rigorous studies. To get a doctorate or PhD, you really got to work mentally. And you really got to strive to learn the truth. And they become experts at the field. Dr. Scott Hahn, a Bible expert, a theological expert. Robert P. George, he's got so many degrees. He's an expert in just about everything. Alan Keyes, a political expert on foreign and domestic affairs. So although I'm sure if we sat for hours and talked about everything, there would be topics we disagreed with, but I would respect them because I know that they really studied the subject to come up with the truth. And I respect them because I believe these three men that I just mentioned are honest. And, I have even invited scholars that I disagree with, like Cornel West, who's very liberal, and I probably disagree with him on 90% of the topics that we would discuss. But I respect this man because, again, he had the passion for the truth to get his doctorate and become an expert in what he believes in. And I also believe he's an honest man. I've watched him over the years on, he's one of the few liberals that are willing to go on conservative shows and talk and be respectful with guests that have opposing views. But what really bothers me, what really gets on my skin are liars, especially liar scholars, dishonest scholars that use their expertise to twist the truth to deceive people and lead people to hell. In this case, is the one specific scholar I'm talking about, a Bible scholar. His name is Bart Ehrman. He's a professor of religion at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He's considered one of the greatest. He is a scholar of Greek New Testament manuscripts. His area of expertise is studying the Greek manuscripts, what they call a textual critic, and getting it as close as the original text of our Greek New Testament. He was trained by none other than Bruce Metzger, great New Testament textual scholar himself. Now, Bart Ehrman grew up in evangelical, went to Moody Bible College, then became a liberal Christian and spent 15 years in Episcopalian church, and then became an agnostic atheist, as he calls himself. And he writes books that lead people that aren't experts to believe that the New Testament has been so corrupted, it's been translated so many times that we don't even know what it says in the original writings of the New Testament. And like scholar Dr. Dan Wallace from Dallas Theological Seminary. And Dallas Theological Seminary, if you're not familiar with it, it's like the Harvard of the Baptist Church. The great, the smartest preachers in the Baptist Church go to Dallas Theological Seminary. And so this guy's a scholar in his own right, Dan Wallace. And his comment on Bart Ehrman is very interesting. He said there's two Barts. He said there's a scholarly Bart that really knows his stuff, and then there's the popular Bart that writes these popular books that are like bestsellers, all these atheist college kids and these atheist professors, and he goes on college campuses and, leads these college kids to believe that the New Testament can't be trusted because there's so many variants. But Dan Wallace says The scholarly Bart Ehrman knows that the New Testament has 138,000 Greek words, and scholars are only uncertain of 1,400 of them. And those words that are uncertain don't change any doctrines in any Christian denomination. They're trivial words. Like, for example, 1 John says, I write this that your joy may be complete, or your joy may be full. Some texts that they have say, I write this that our joy may be complete. So I'm not sure if the Y, didn't show up in one of the copies, or someone added a Y. It's simple things like this. And Dr. William Lane Craig, who's a great apologist, Protestant apologist, but he debates atheists all the time, he commented that he actually heard Bart Ehrman on a radio show, and the radio guy was like, yeah. The radio guy read his books, so he was misled to believe that the New Testament couldn't be trusted because it's been translated so many times it's so corrupt. So he says to Bart Ehrman, he says, man, the New Testament is so corrupted. What do you think it really said? What do you think the original text really said? And Bart Ehrman said, what do you mean? He said, what do you think it really said? And Bart Ehrman said, we know what it really said. It really says what it says. And the talk show host was really confused. And he's like, what do you mean? I thought it was corrupted so many times. He's like, well, our scholarly textual criticism, our critics rather, were able to figure out that, 99% of it is accurate and true, and the 1% really doesn't change much. And William Lane Craig said the radio host was totally confused because he's been listening to the popular Bart Ehrman saying all this atheistic talk and agnostic talk and twisting the truth to be popular, and he has popular best-selling books that these college kids are buying up like crazy to prove atheism is true. But the scholarly, the truthful Bart Ehrman knows that the New Testament we have today is the same New Testament that the Catholic Church gave us at the Council of Rome in 382. The letters that are in these New Testament, in our New Testament, are the same letters that the apostles wrote, that the 1st, 2nd, 3rd century churches read in the churches, and that, again, the Catholic Church decided belongs in the Bible at the Council of Rome in 382 AD. So you could trust your New Testament, but you can't trust every scholar out there. Just because someone has a PhD after his name doesn't mean he's honest. So again, I'm calling out a dishonest Bible scholar, Bart Ehrman. God bless, stay Catholic, and if you're buying or selling real estate, go to realestateforlife.org.